Hello, and welcome to Thoughts, Feelings, Reflections, a podcast really just dedicated to my thoughts, my feelings, and my reflections. And we're going to start off strong, and we're just going to start off with something the Substack saw first, which is my thoughts on late night drives and classical music. Personally, I think it's the right way to do it. There's something that really hits when you go on a drive and it's dark, it's late, and let's just paint a proper picture. Say it's like 2:00 in the morning. You just dropped off your last friend from wherever they were. Might have been at the pub, might have been out. You've picked them up, you've taken them home, and you're by yourself. And the best thing to do in this situation is to turn the radio to classical. And at that rate, a bit of Mozart starts playing, a bit of Debussy, a bit of anything. And there's something so beautiful about driving, whether you're just driving home, whether it's just an extra 5-minute journey, or you're properly driving down the motorway or something like that, and you just go half an hour, 2 hours, and you're listening to classical music, and there is something so nice and there is something so sweet about listening to classical music and driving. And I don't know what the effects are. If you've ever tried it, then you will completely understand where I come from. And if you haven't, then you need to try it. Because there really is something that hits about that. And I don't know if it's just because the roads are quiet and you have free game. You have free will, within reason, within law. You could go and do what you want. Do you know what I mean? Like, you could drive for hours at a time and you can not worry about the fact that you have to harshly brake because some fucking arsehole is in front of you and he's just harshly braked and he's stopped, and now you've got to stop and quickly bring yourself to a close. And you know, it's the daytime stress, the rush hour at 3 p.m. or 4 p.m. when you're on your way home and traffic is just an arsehole, and the only thing which you can actually do is wait. And you've got nothing else to do in this situation. But at late at night, no matter where you are, it doesn't really matter. There is something, it just switches. No one's on the road because everyone's in bed or everyone's at the club on a Friday night. And you could just drive. The stress is gone. That's the driving part. The classical music, I couldn't tell you the science. There really is something about the classical part of the experience. And I genuinely think it's just because it's soothing. There is something about if Claire de Lune starts playing and you're driving and it's not really really loud, it's not really quiet, it's more so the perfect volume for you to just go and drive and do whatever you want, because it's free will. And I couldn't tell you, and this may be waffle, and this may just be me saying the same thing over and over again, but I could do what I want because it's my podcast. Off topic. there really is something about it, and I couldn't tell you, like, um, the first time I really knew this, I was at a bowling alley with a group of my friends until around, I want to say 1:30. We were at the bowling alley until around 12, but then we went to grab some food on the way home. And we sat in there for around an hour. We'd left around maybe 1:30, maybe 2, and there was 2 people in my car at the time, maybe 3, can't remember. 2. It was 2. It was 2. No, it wasn't. It was 3. It don't matter. The number really doesn't matter. And then it's dropping them off. And at that rate, I had normal music playing. It was a bit of, whatever they scheduled, because I let them schedule what they wanted, because I'm not really bothered when it's other people in my car. And then when they left, I thought, do you know what? Let's just change it up. Like, I've got another 20 minutes to drive. I don't want to listen to Michael Jackson right now in the middle of the night. I want something that's going to soothe me. Like, I'm already stressed because they were talking really loudly and shouting in my ear, and it was already getting stressful and quite chaotic. So after they got out the car, I turned it to Classic FM, which is a radio station that specializes in classical music. And I think normally with Classic FM, I think there's talking in between. But because it was a late night show, it was a completely different thing. And it was playing this one song. I don't know the name. I don't know who made it. I don't know who composed it. But he was just playing this one song that wasn't a violent type of classical, where the pitch starts going up and the bass comes in and it's really intense, like something which you'd see in an action movie. But it was none of that. It was just peaceful, and it was odd, and I never heard anything like that before in my life. And I just drove, and normally when you're driving, if I don't know if you're listening, if you relate, but if you're driving with music on, normal music in the daytime, you will get the thoughts. You start thinking about things that you got to do in the day, I gotta go get my mother from said place, or I gotta go shopping, or I gotta go walk the dog at 3:00 when the hot weather has cooled down a bit. But in a car with classical music, it's something that's really weird. There's no thought. You're very aware what's going on. You are concentrating on the road, you're concentrating on your mirrors, just in case, because there's always that one boy racer that always drives past you, and it's gonna happen. But then there's something, you just don't think, and I didn't. All the thoughts of that night, blank, nothing. And even when I got out the car, it was stressful because I got locked out the house for a good half an hour. But I just didn't have a thought. It was silent. It was peaceful. It was lovely. And I don't understand, because I love playing music in the car. There's something about, having just any music that you love playing in the car as you're driving. But then there's something, I am waffling, but there's something in the classical music that just makes you relaxed. And it won't happen in the day, because in the day, for me, if classical music starts playing, I'll skip it. It's not the right time. I don't want to listen to classical music at 2 p.m. when I'm about to approach a Tesco car park because I want a meal deal, because there's nothing in the house to eat. Do you know what I'm saying? But, like, the second time that this happened, which is when I put it on Substack, because Substack saw it first, that's a hint. I was picking my friend up from the train station, and I didn't play it at first. I was playing my normal playlist when I got a phone call saying that he needed to pick it up from a different train station because something was wrong with the trains. I was quite upset because it means I had to go another 45 minutes up the way. But I picked him up, I dropped him off, and I was stressed. And then my first thought was, let's play classical music. Because I knew what the effects were the last time. So I played it, and it was all just fine. Do you know what I mean? It was peaceful. Everything went again. And I don't know if this is a common thing. I haven't looked into it. I haven't bothered. I don't really care about what other people think about it. Because this, obviously, I only care about my experience, really. Because I know that it works. But there is something about it. I don't know, but it was beautiful. And, like, then the role reverses. Because obviously I just said that when you play non-classical music in a car, like Ariana Grande or something like that, and then classical music is scheduled for some reason, you skip it. I do. You might not, I don't know, but I did. I skipped it. Didn't see the point. Not the right time, not the right moment. But this time, the roles switched in terms of, like, I would rather listen to classical music rather than my normal playlist. And it switches, and I'll never understand the logic. But I think that's all I got to say on the matter. I'm done now. That's my thought, my feeling, and my reflection on a great time of late night drives and just great classical music. Possibly every week. I don't know. This is the first time I've really done a proper podcast. Maybe every week, maybe not. Who knows? We'll see how this turns out. But thank you very much for listening if you've got this far. And subscribe to the Substack if you're not already, because I post the actual notes before the episode, probably. Or not. Subscribe to the YouTube. There might be a YouTube. Again, don't know. And subscribe to the Spotify as well, because it's the same thing. And I'll be uploading this podcast on Spotify alongside Substack, trying to get on other platforms. But it's really complicated. It's not like how it used to be. I did have a podcast back in the day with my friend. Maybe that'll be the next episode. Maybe I'll get her on. I don't know. Anyway, that's all. Goodbye. Thank you. Yep, I'm done.